opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station. The following is a paid program.
Welcome to the Sheriff's Perspective, where we explore the many important services of the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office. Learn more about sheriff sales, court orders, civil enforcement, and much more on the Sheriff's Perspective with your host, Sheriff Rochelle Bilal.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I see you too. So. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Sheriff's Perspective that caught me eating. I'm Rochelle Bilal, Sheriff for the City and County of Philadelphia, and today is the Sheriff's Perspective. We're going to want y'all to call in 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. And we want to thank WURD for ensuring that we have a platform to talk about the sheriff issues and what's going on in the city. And make sure that you know when the sheriff sales are coming up and how you can go online to purchase the sheriff sale through our auctioneer bid for assets. So I'm looking for my host to come on with me, because today we're going to tell you about our autism, Decal, and those who are on the spectrum, and how you can get a decal for your home so that law enforcement will understand situations where they're not deaf. Is Darryl on yet?
Yes.
We got to bring him on. Darryl, are you there? Darryl.
They have to unmute.
I'll keep going until Darryl comes on. Darryl Roberts is in our Community Outreach Assistant Director, plus he works in our procurement department in the Sheriff's Office. You know, people do a whole lot of things. They got a whole lot of black jobs in the Sheriff's Office, so sometimes you do one and two different things. If you are texting me, I cannot read it.
Dr.
Text me on the other phone, on the city phone, then I can read that. Right now,
Dr. Lacey Davis is on.
Oh, DeLacy's on?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. All right, then we can start with DeLacy, and then we'll do Darryl this afternoon. Good evening. I'm bringing on Dr. DeLacy Davis before we go to autism. We're going to talk to Dr. DeLacy Davis, author, community activist. I guess I'll let him give you everything, but he's been on every podcast and news station across this country. And he's a down-to-earth person. He is on the ground dealing with issues in education. So I'll let you know. And DeLacy's going to introduce himself. DeLacy Davis, Dr. DeLacy Davis. Let's not forget that, because you work hard for that.
Hello, Sheriff. How are you? Good to be here. Peace to the family.
How you doing today, DeLacy?
I am good. Thank you. Honored to always be here to talk to our Philly family and surrounding communities. thankful for the opportunity, and of course, looking forward to seeing family in a week or so down there.
That's right. The Lacey Davis, anybody don't know, if you don't get your ticket, they are going fast and almost gone. Because on October the 25th is the Guardian Civic League, which I was president of for more than 13 years, is having their 59th annual scholarship awards banquet. Banquet. And it's going to be at Live Casino. And that's October the 25th, starting at 6 p.m. And if you see the flyer, it's a host of entertainment. We give out scholarship awards to different community people and community organizations, led by Crystal Coleman, who is the president of the Guardian Civic League now. But I wanted Lacey to come on because I want to find out what he's been doing. That's my brother here. Black Cops Against Police Brutality, all marching against the system for a long time. So, we've been grassroots people for a long time. So what you been up to, D?
We've been everywhere. I'm actually just returning from upstate New York because, as you know, the audience doesn't. I'm also executive director for the Family Support Organization of Union County and Plainfield, New Jersey, and the executive director for New Jersey's Alliance of Family Support Organizations. And it was interesting. I was taking down notes when you talked about the autism decal for homes, because, of course, what we do is we provide support, education, and advocacy to parents of children with special needs. And we contract with the state of New Jersey in order to work in one of these organizations in this capacity as peer support. You have to have a special needs child. And so of the 4 adopted children that my mom and I raised, 2 of them were special needs and are special needs. And so it qualified me. So I've been at this agency for the last 11 years and the Alliance for the last 5 years. And so we traveled at the New Jersey Alliance. I've been traveling around the country helping other states set up their 988 crisis hotline, and making sure that is structured appropriately and that family and youth voice and choice are built into the design. We're also working with residential facilities to do something similar. And in New Jersey, we're working with actually a residential provider to ensure that they have peer support coming from parents of children who live in residential, because there are experiences that are unique to them. And so, I also returned from Burning Man in Nevada, Black Rock City, Nevada. I went there for peace and tranquility. Go figure that out. My brother's been a burner since 2016, but in going to Burning Man, I was able to just have a different experience. There was about 70,000 people there from all over the world. About 5,000 are Black and brown, and it's everything. I mean, there's an appreciation. There is we can hear you. There's an appreciation for the arts. There is music, entertainment, radical inclusion, radical gifting, and just people being.
I can't do the Zoom.
Go ahead. Finish the Lacey, because we're trying to get our connections together.
Absolutely. So it's just people being good people. And for me, it was a good experience, because although I went there to try to relax, we worked 10 hours a day because I went on an early admission. So you build out the entire camp. And so my brother's a camp manager. And so we work 10 hours a day every day, but you work with people, you learn collaboration. You learn radical resilience in terms of yourself. You learn things about yourself and about how you engage other people. So it was a very good experience. And then finally, most recently, I'm doing a research article. I just submitted it yesterday to a public administration journal, talking about the experiences that Black people in general, but Black men in particular, have when they're running non-governmental agencies, nonprofits, but being funded by predominantly white departments, predominantly white states, predominantly white organizations as funders, because there is a unique dichotomy that exists in that you want to do a good job so that you're serving your community, but also have to figure out how to maintain your sanity operating in these spaces where your community is not necessarily appreciated, nor are they given an opportunity to excel in these spaces. Because, for example, I'm in a space where the leaders are primarily white females, and then white males, and then Black females, and then Black males are way down the spectrum. And so I needed to talk about what that's felt like for the last 15 years or so in some of the spaces that I've been in.
Okay.
So that's me in a quick rundown.
So you're continuously running and working hard.
Yes.
Well, first of all, we appreciate you. And so if you don't know any of the background of the Lacey Davis, I'm going to let them talk about our olden days. The Lacey Davis is the founder of Black Cops Against Police Brutality. And me being in the Guardian Civic League at that time, basically connected with him in 1998.
Seven.
I keep getting that ass in 1997 when African-American police officers and sheriffs were dealing with issues in reference to law enforcement institutions. And so that we needed to have a national gathering of like-minded people who were in these organizations so that we can deal with those issues. And so in those issues became a part of Black Cops Against Police Brutality, and I became the Pennsylvania representative. And from there on, we've been moving ever since.
Absolutely. I think it's important that we do this work, and I think it's important that we teach the next generation how to do this work better than the way we did it. They have at their fingertips things that we did not have, like technology, greater resources, and more people commonly now talking about police use of force, community engagement, and all those kinds of things. They did not exist back then, as you know, when we were out on the battlefield. I would say as early as 1991, when we started Black Cops Against Police Brutality, there were only 2 Black cops in the country at the national level that were having that conversation. The first being Eric Adams at the time. He was the chairman of the Guardian Grand Council. And I met him in Nashville. I met his people in Nashville, Tennessee at an NBPA conference, National Black Police Association, and they connected us. And so through Pat Stevens, I got the connection in, and I started raising my voice even louder. And of course, in 97, I met you through Chuck Taylor, the late elder. I'm from New Jersey, who says, I found the female version of you. I'm like, what does that mean? He says, you got to know her. I need you to meet her. I need you to spend time with her. And of course, that was the year that the minister also came to Philly as a keynote speaker. So it's necessary work. And in light of what's going on now, and I know that there's a presidential election that's going forward and folks are fighting for Pennsylvania. So I want to say to my Philly family, we've got to turn out for the sake of each other and the generations that are coming behind us, which is also the theme of the Guardian Civic League's event next week. The theme being actually protecting, being the guardians of the community and protecting the next generation. And the next generation won't get to where they need to be if folks have their way with Project 2025 and all those kinds of things, reinstituting stop and frisk on street corners, which was abysmal. We know that from Judge Shinlin's her ruling in New York Supreme Court, I think around 1996, where millions and millions of people were stopped and less than 10% of them had committed any crimes, and Black and brown people were disproportionately stopped by the police and had done nothing wrong. And we also know from community policing perspectives that all we need citizens to do is have one positive encounter with the police and they have a better attitude about policing. But you can destroy 20 years of community policing work by having one bad encounter with a bad cop and the game is all over. And the community then, the police department then has to start all over again.
I hear you. So the second part of this show, we're going to be dealing with autism.
Good.
And Darryl Roberts, one of my people who work for me, brought this to my attention and came up with a plan. He said he wanted to do something. I said, put the plan together. And he put the plan together, and this is how we came up with the autism decal. And so when we're talking about people who are autistic or on the spectrum and in policing, why we came up with this, and Darryl will expand on it. What do you think about a decal for on a car or in your house, letting the police know that somebody here is autistic and may be on the spectrum?
I think, first of all, institutionally, it's the great first step, right? And I say first step because the first thing is to acknowledge that our children, our community, our relatives, our neighbors who may be on the spectrum are not all operating at the same level, and they may not respond similarly to the police. And the police may expect them to, but there is no way of knowing that you're dealing with someone who is diagnosed with autism, number one. Secondly, I think coupled with the decal, then of course, as you know, training has to come with that for the police officers so that they understand the expectation of them. If you encounter that decal on a car, in a house, in a window, in a home, then you've got to go into a different mode of training, not your typical do what I say in your authoritative tone and voice, because that may set someone off. But I think it's a great idea.
So basically you're saying that every law enforcement professional need to be trained in in communicating with people who are autistic.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I say that, so my staff, for example, at the Family Support Organization, I have staff who have children on the autism spectrum. Some, well, they used to call it high functioning, but some function extremely well, and then some struggle. Some don't engage at all. And so I know, like some of the young men, as you see in my picture, when I do mentoring with the young men in the summertime, I have to recognize when I'm working with them that I have to differentiate how I engage with my young people, because they're all operating at different levels, but they all deserve to be given respect and to have their rights respected and honored by law enforcement. So if law enforcement sees the decal, but as we know, some officers are cynical, as they want to be, and don't respond appropriately, the first thing in holding them accountable is making sure that there's training that goes along with it, so we all know what the standard is and what the expectation is for them when they encounter the decal and someone who they can identify as being on the autism spectrum.
And so basically, that's what we're trying to do. We're introducing this around the country to other agencies so that they can basically take a hold of this, because we want to make sure that people are safe. And training is needed in reference to law enforcement officers. So therefore, they won't take an action, or somebody may be autistic that is excited about something shiny or excited about wanting to touch your gun, not taking it as a threat to them. Mm-hmm. Or if they start walking towards them and they tell them to stop and they don't stop, not take it as a threat to them, but basically will know that they're autistic and know how to manage the situation a lot better. As you think?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. In fact, I was taking notes. So one of the things I would encourage you to do, especially if you're doing the decal, is to trademark your decal and then copyright your curriculum, because I can promise you someone's going to take off with it, so that it is, I mean, while you can give it away, you can license it, you can share it, you'll at least own it and be able to control it so someone doesn't run away with it. The second thing is around the training. I would suggest that it would be training where you'd have officers that are specially trained to work in this area with folks who have autism, but also have behavioral health professionals like clinicians, as well as parents and caregivers with lived experience to couple with that training. So they're getting it from many perspectives. They're getting it from the clinical perspective, they're getting it from the lived experience perspective, and the professionals who are ongoing doing this kind of work. But also, you will then have control over the curriculum that you share with law enforcement, so that it does not get changed from what your intent is from day one.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. So you got the first half of my sheriff perspective. I thought I'd give the audience a little bit of you, because they've heard you before on any of the shows that I've been on, especially on WURD. And the fact that you're going to be the keynote speaker at the Guardian Civic League 59th Annual Sneaker Ball that's coming up the 25th of October at 6 p.m. at Live Casino. And I basically put that out there because the tickets are going fast. And matter of fact, I don't know, you may need to check and see if there are any tickets available, because it's a night of entertainment. People are getting awards, scholarship for our young people. And the Guardian Civic League continues to work. Our deputy sheriffs are members of the Guardians Civic League. And so we all continue to work together. It's just not one entity. And I'm the chairperson of the ball this year. And so therefore, I need to make sure it goes very well, and that everybody buy every little ticket they can. And if you want standing room only, we might buy tickets there. But this is for a good cause, and we appreciate that you're coming in. You want to close out before we go to a commercial, and Absolutely. Then we'll bring on Daryl?
Absolutely. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I encourage everyone that can get a ticket to come on out. If you heard us on WURD, make sure that night you walk up to me, introduce yourself. Let's chat, let's connect, and let's keep talking. I appreciate the work that you do on the ground. I appreciate you, Sheriff, for staying close to the community and tied to the community. This is good work, and this is the best of what we should be getting from law enforcement, because this doesn't happen around the country. So I thank you and applaud you and your staff for the work that you do, and thank you.
I'm telling everybody on WURD before he goes, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, and give him a call before he get out of here, because we got about one more minute before we go to commercial. And announce what the sheriff cells are going to be, and we are just waiting. So otherwise, they'll be calling right after you leave. Can we talk to Lacey Davis? I was like, he's gone. So how is Carol and everybody doing in Trenton?
So Carol Russell, as you know, was a former police director in Trenton. She's retired as a sergeant. She's doing well, still doing community work, and she actually partners with us to do community outreach. And folks have asked me, how'd you get police officers, retired police officers, to do community outreach? I said, it's simple. Those who care about the community have always done community outreach. They've always been embedded in the community, and they still live in the community, which makes a difference. And so it was easy for me. The community loves her. We love her. My board loves her. So she's doing good work. We've had quite a few events come up, and we're running an academy for parents, a parent support group, a bilingual parent support group, male mentoring program, and this is all for young people with mental health, behavioral health challenges, and/or juvenile justice system involved. The little girls, the big girls, and then young guys are from 14 to 21. And so she coordinates all of that on behalf of our organization in the community.
And so Carol Russell, so if anybody don't know, she was a part of our organization, the National Black Police Association, back then, and again with Bowles, was an organization in Trenton of African-American law enforcement officers, professionals. And so part of the groundwork was one of the people that did the groundwork and took attacks from different institutions because they didn't want us to do it. Yes. And so I had to give a shout out to my girl, Carol, because she's still standing up.
Yeah, she's still standing.
Okay. So it looked like we're ready to go to a commercial, and basically everybody listen, and we'll go to commercial about the sheriff's cell. D, hold tight.
Get registered and bid at the upcoming tax sheriff's sale on Friday, April 5th. Held online at bidforassets.com/Philadelphia. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office at 215-686-3560 or visit our website at phillysheriff.com.
We're back.
Yes, you're back.
We're back to the Sheriff Perspective. Good afternoon, everyone. We're back for the Sheriff Perspective. I'm Rochelle Bilal, Sheriff for the City and County of Philadelphia. And we are back. We had the Lacey Davis on the first half, and we're talking about autism and the Guardian Civic League upcoming award scholarship banquet. But now I have one of the people who have basically started and initiated our autistic and autism decal, Daryl Roberts. Daryl Roberts, are you there?
I'm here, Sheriff. Hello. How are you?
There you go. We got Daryl Roberts, and Lacey is standing by just in case. He told you about the importance of the decal. So, Daryl Roberts, introduce yourself, and let's talk about the autism decal that we have in the Sheriff's Office.
Yes, ma'am. Again, I am Daryl Roberts, newly promoted to the Assistant Director of Community Outreach of the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office. And in the words of Sheriff Bilal, the brain behind the Autism Decal Initiative. I've had the honor of working with the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office for 2 years now, as of June, and was honored to come in and get right to work and work on the Autism Decal.
Okay, so can you tell people what is the autism decal?
So the autism decal, after being an uncle to two, a niece and a nephew who are both on the spectrum, prior to coming to the Sheriff's Office, I was employed with the funeral industry for almost 15 years, and hearing different stories of families of special needs, and particularly what we now know as autism, but some did not know what autism was. As stated, finding a way to secure and protect families and friends and children, I thought about this decal, and as stated earlier, talked to Sheriff, and Sheriff said, well, listen, put it together and do it. So this autism decal is a decal that has been designed by myself to notify law enforcement, first responders, paramedics. I've actually got some responses even just this week that even delivery drivers now know not to bang on doors when they deliver packages. It is to notify any of those individuals aforementioned that somebody in that house, somebody in that car, they have autism. They are somewhere on the spectrum, whether they are high on the spectrum, low on the spectrum, but it notifies them so that way, as Dr. DeLacy said, they know how to approach that car, how to approach that
Patience
house.
and understanding. That is the goal of the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office when it comes to cases with individuals on the autism spectrum. At a press conference at City Hall this morning, we got our first look at some new autism decals designed to alert emergency responders when there's a person with autism in a home or vehicle. The no-cost decal will signal to sheriff's deputies to draw on their autism training for those who may not speak or comply with verbal commands.
If a first responder can identify that a child or adult may have autism, he or she can then respond in a way that best supports the individual.
Child's name, if they would like to put their child's name, we don't particularly force them to do it, but we kind of just ask for that, just for the sake of knowing, you know, who these decals are going to. So they reach out to us, they can fill out that form or email us directly, let us know how many decals they need, whether it's for their car or for their house. And we give it to them free of charge. We've had individuals come to pick them up from the office. We've mailed out some. And because I'm a personable person, there are some individuals I've actually driven to and actually dropped them off personally, and just thanked them for registering for this decal to keep their family safe.
So what would the application process look like?
So the application process right now is they fill out a form that is inclusive of, again, their name, their address, a phone number to keep in contact. They let us know how many decals they need, again, whether for the car or for the house. And then we have it in our database at the sheriff's office. We are currently and have been in the process of connecting with the Philadelphia Police Department as well as the PA State Troopers, to where, because they are particularly, as some would say, more so out in the streets more often, doing, car stops and traffic stops, to put it into their database. That way they can flag those names or those addresses or those license plates of the car. That way we know when they pull that car over and they understand, okay, not only do I see the decal, but I know this person because they're in our system. So they give us that information. We put it in there. There are some individuals that have already given information in reference to a medical certification. And then there are some that, of course, are not particularly comfortable with doing that. However, we are getting ready to come back to the table to do a full circle on a stronger way to solidify the application process, just to make sure that we don't have just anybody registering for this decal and taking advantage of it. So, we're asking for a physician, a doctor to, sign off on it. We're not asking for your social security number and anything like that, but we do want to make sure that this is integral and legit, that you are actually asking for this decal to go into your car or your home.
That is such a great idea. And part of the law enforcement, part of the sheriff's office, because there in the city you have several, but the Philadelphia Police Department is on patrol, and the sheriff's office responsibilities are different, but we're still law enforcement, and we want to keep people safe, and we want to make sure that people are protected and not misunderstood. And we don't want anything to happen just because somebody is unaware of certain things. So I want to thank you for that. So how will the program ensure that it is accessible to diverse communities, including nonverbal individuals and those with varying levels of support needs?
So the success of this is, and as we have just celebrated 2 years, coming up on 3 years of this decal, as well as our autism resource fair, is to bring in speech therapists, bring in different organizations that can support our Decal program, that we can communicate with them because they have that database, they have that relationship with families who are nonverbal, and they know the best way to communicate with them. And so that way we're not putting ourselves in a position at the sheriff's office that, yes, we are the ones that have initiated this Decal, but they know how to particularly speak to these families, how to communicate with them. And so we are able to partner with these organizations that regardless of what level you are on the spectrum, we can get to you no matter what, whether you're nonverbal, you're verbal, you're just finding out that you're on the spectrum. We are partnering with these different agencies and therapists and counselors that is able to ensure that we reach anybody that is on the spectrum. And what I've learned is now, Sheriff, is that there are people, because of this Decal, they are going to actually move out of their pride and actually take their children to be tested and to be examined to find out if they actually have autism, because they know with this Decal, their child will be protected.
Oh, that is the number one reason. It's called protection, and to make sure that everybody's protected.
Yes,
and ability. So this has a situation. You just can't come up and say, I want a Decal.
Yes.
And therefore, certain information need to be kept private. So how will the privacy of individuals applying for the autism Decal be protected? What safeguards will be in place to ensure confidentiality?
Well, number one, when they fill out that form only comes to me. And it's not shared with anyone else. Of course, you as the sheriff, if you want to see the files, of course, that's a completely different situation. Just security measure.
I wanted to stay confidential, but go ahead, finish telling.
It is everything is locked up into a file. It is in the system, but we reassure families as they are filling out the application that their information will not be shared with anyone. Their information is not being given out. It is in a secure database. The only way that their information will be shared with anyone is with their permission. We will literally go down the list of all of those who have registered already for the Decal, that if and when we are able to partner with those other agencies to secure it into their databases, we will ask for a written permission to give their information to Philadelphia Police Department, to give it to the Pennsylvania State Troopers, to put it into their database in case they are in an accident on the side of the road and they have to approach them. We will not give their information without permission. It will be a phone call as well as an actual form that they have to sign, and we will sign as well to let them know your information is secure. And if by chance we do have to release it to those other agencies, we will contact you for another permission to actually release it to them.
So for the audience, here's what we don't do. We don't sell your information out to anybody. So because sometimes you notice you put an application in and all of a sudden you're getting a bunch of emails and phone calls from a lot of people you don't even know how they got your information. We don't sell it. We don't give it out. Its privacy is encrypted, is locked up, and it gets to no one. And I demand documentation, basically, from anybody that is requesting stuff, that they got a bona fide permission from the person that they want us to share it with. Like, if we're going to give it to the Philadelphia Police Department, they have to sign that waiver to give that information to them so that they will have it to make sure that their families are safe. We do not sell information. We will not give it out.
Patience and understanding. That is the goal of the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office. When it comes to cases with individuals on the autism spectrum, at a press conference at City Hall this morning, we got our first look at some new autism decals designed to alert emergency responders when there is a person with autism in a home or vehicle.
No mishap in between. You can call us. You can get in touch with Darryl, and he'll make sure he gives you that information before he leaves, that we make sure that we keep your stuff private, and we're going to take care of it just like it's our own.
Absolutely.
So with staff within the government agencies, will the staff be trained on autism awareness and the purpose of the Decal program? And what type of training will we be providing?
Yes, so we are actually very, 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 very excited. Very excited. On November 1st to begin our official training through the International Board of Credentialing and Educational Services. They are going to be training the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office staff, sworn and civilian personnel, on all of the ins and outs, from the introduction of autism to how to maintain, how to communicate, how to effectively embrace the autism community. So we will be going through that training beginning on November 1st. And what that will do is every member of our staff that takes this training and completes it will receive a certificate of completion, a lapel pin from IBCCES, as well as the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office being nationally recognized and known as an autism inclusive organization. And because of that, we will be on a national level of press conference and a press release, because this decal is more than a bumper sticker. It's more than decoration on somebody's car or their house. This is something very, very important. As we keep saying, Sheriff, protection is our overall word when it comes to this decal. And so we cannot successfully protect by way of this decal without being educationally impacted and uplifted and empowered by knowing what autism actually is. And because of that, as a consequence, through the training that we will receive, there will also be, again, understanding of what this decal looks like, what the decal is, and making sure that every law enforcement personnel from our office and those that will also go through training prayerfully very soon, that they will know exactly what this decal is across the country, across the states, across the lines, so that nobody can say, oh, I did not know. We are on a task and on an assignment to kill the idea of I did not know. So this training is going to be very, very important and very influential.
First of all, Darryl, I want to thank you for making sure that this project got out. You took it from the door to development till now to where it's going out to the communities and to all our partners out there. I think we already partnered with the Eagles.
Yes, ma'am.
So who are some of our partners with this decal?
So some of our partners, supporters, and endorsers have been from the inception. The Philadelphia Eagles have been very supportive through their Eagles Autism Foundation. The Philadelphia 76ers have been very supportive through the 76ers of Philadelphia, as well as the Delaware Bluecoats, who was with us last year for our autism event, as well as the Philadelphia Phillies. They have given some emails of support. We have many religious leaders who are also supporting. We have the support of the Mayor's Office of Disabilities, and we also have support from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia Autism Research and Thomas Jefferson University Autism and Neurodiversity Program are our partners, sponsors, and endorsers.
So right now we are in the stage of public awareness or educational campaign. So give us some of the things you already done to get this information out to the public.
So a few things we have done. Again, as stated, we have done our Autism and Neurodiversity Resource Fair. The first one was held in South Philly. The last one was held on Wissahickon Avenue. We had over 200 attendees. I think it was even more than out of the first one. We had at least 400 attendees that came, and we brought as many organizations that could come. This was not just your standard resource fair where city officials or city agencies came out. We wanted to make sure that we had 90% of organizations that were geared towards autism and neurodiversity, because that is the information that people are not getting, because so many of these organizations that have things like this, they charge for you to come in. We don't charge for our events. The only thing that we charge you is we charge you to come. With a charge, not a price. It's a charge. It's a must do. You have to come. We want you to be educated. We want you to be empowered. And so we've gone live on Facebook. We've had these events. We make sure our brochures are going to every event that the sheriff's office is going to. So if you have gone to any event, if it was a pop-up fair, a pop-up food, a street festival, and the sheriff's office tent and table was there, you saw that brochure. We have dropped them off. And we are in the process of trying to do an actual somehow commercial directly geared towards this decal, so that although we went and had our press conference and it went onto the news, we're going to get it back out there again directly about this autism decal, so that people know we are still here. We still have this decal, and if you need it, we got it. All you got to do is reach out. But I'm also a firm believer that people do not know if we don't share it more and more. And of course, we always have the people that say, I did not know. So we'll go above and beyond to inform the community, to let them know what we have and how they can get it.
See, that's another part in reference to the audience. If you want to give a call in, you can call in to WURD 900 AM 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. So, Darryl, for those who want to fill out the application and get a copy, get the decal, how do they get in touch with us?
So they can go to the phillysheriff.com, and under community outreach, right on our front page, there is a link for the Autism Decal Initiative. They can click that link, and when they get on there, it'll fill out their information. It'll ask them again for their name, their email, their phone number, how many decals, the name of the individual, because I want to make sure that's known. This is not just for children. The autism spectrum does not have an age bracket. So anyone that is on the spectrum, you can put their name in there, how many decals, whether it's for the house or the car. We do encourage families because, again, as Sheriff Bilal said, we don't judge anyone. If you are a split parenting or co-parenting home, and mom is in one home, dad is in the other house, please make sure you register for both houses. Make sure you register for both cars. We don't want, we don't want Sydney just register for mom's car, and then dad, something happens and she's not covered because they did not know. We want to make sure any personnel in that family that is connected, please put their information in, or if you don't want to fill out their information directly, encourage them to do it so they can be safe. That information comes to us, and we make sure that you get the decals and any other documentation that we may need from you. You can also email me directly at darryl.roberts@phila.gov, and you can email me as well, and I can send you the form. If going through the website is too much for some people, you can just email directly. I will respond to you and get you all the necessary forms or information that you may need, and we'll make sure that you get it as soon as possible.
All right, I want you to hold it right there.
Yes,
WURD 900 AM while we go to a commercial.
We invite you to get registered and bid at the upcoming Mortgage Sheriff Sale on Tuesday, April 2nd, held online at bidforassets.com/Philadelphia. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office at 215-686-3560 or visit our website at phillysheriff.com.
You're back.
Thank you so much, Darryl. So we're going to finish up with you on this last part of the sheriff perspective. Are you still there, Darryl?
Yeah,
just checking.
Yes.
Okay. See, one of the things the sheriff's office has been doing since 2020 is basically educating people around the city on what the sheriff's office does, because most people don't know. Mm-hmm. And when we educate people, they tend to take what we put together and they use it. And so fully educated people do a lot better with information. So that's another thing as to why we are putting out the information on the autism decal. And we take it everywhere we go. It's on our website. You can go to phillysheriff.com, Philly, PHILLY.com, and get the information that you need so that you can help yourself, you can help your family, and you can get the decal if it's needed. You may know some people who don't know anything about it. And so we give it to you and charge you to make sure they get the information so that they can get the decal to ensure that their families are safe and that they will keep everybody safe in order to do that. We are back from the Zoom. One of the things that I wanted to ask Daryl, when coming in contact with people who are asking for the decal, what are the sentiments that you're getting from them? Are they happy about this decal being developed?
So the responses and the sentiments that I've been receiving, some of them are overjoyed. To say that they are happy, some of these families, Sheriff, is an understatement to say they're happy. They are overjoyed. The responses
That look like he's breaking up. That would be breaking up and you're going first mode.
It's about time.
Daryl, you're breaking up.
Is it good?
You're not good right now. Let me hear you again. Okay,
am I good?
Now you're good because you're breaking up real bad. Say that again.
Okay. So a lot of the families are, again, they're overjoyed. To say that they're happy is an understatement, simply based off of the fact that this is what they needed. We've seen things like this for other, I guess, special needs, so to speak, but something geared directly to the autism community, because the autism community has been overlooked for so long. One, because people did not know what autism was. And now that we know what autism is, it also still has been kind of swept under the rug for some. So to see this decal, they are overjoyed. They're very excited. I'm blessed that you guys have done this. Thank God for you and Sheriff Bilal and the Sheriff's Office for doing this, because now I know for sure my family will be safe. My daughter, my son will be safe. And it is not just from Philadelphia. Just the other 2 years ago, when we first initiated kickoff for their Eagles Autism Foundation weekend, and we had individuals from Berks County, Chester, California, that all come in and saw this decal, so much so that we had a joke, because Sheriff said, well, I'm gonna send you on tour. All these people asking for this decal all over the place. Excited to see this decal and what it means for them and their families on a whole new level.
And so that's great in reference to the decal. So it does some good. Well, I would say in positions, now I'm elected and a lot of people may be appointed, but when you are in these positions, you have to do more. Nobody keeps us in a box. We want to be able to do things and reach out to the communities in our city and all the constituents around the city. We don't discriminate. It's for everybody. And so when we see a need, we tend to develop that and get it out there. At the same token, we also give out information as to what the Sheriff's Office does and the different programs that we have. And so when we tell people to give us a call at the Sheriff's Office so that you can get information, but we say one better, just go to phillysheriff.com. phillysheriff.com. And when you go to phillysheriff.com, you can look everywhere. We are very transparent. Our information is all on phillysheriff.com. Anybody that puts anything in the paper who has an issue, with the sheriff's office, and they've been had an issue. You can look at our response to them also. And, people have their own agendas when they do call themselves having an issue. But for the past going on 5 years now, we have changed that institution to better. And if it's been a mess for 181 years, 4 years is not going to solve every single problem that occurred in the sheriff's office. But we are updating all our technology. We are updating all our equipment. And for the men and women who work at the sheriff's office, we always say thank you because they are doing an omen's job. And I mean an omen's job. The sheriff's office has been short for a long time. And it's not like, and it's every other institution in the country. If you have a law enforcement institution, trust me, everybody is short. And yet, we try to do the best that we can to onboard people so that they can become deputy sheriffs. I'm saying sheriff's office is a good career and a good career for you and your family. The benefits are good. Basically, you work 5 days a week, most of the people. Weekends off, holidays off. When I was in the police department, I didn't know what a holiday was or a weekend was. But in the sheriff's office, because of the different responsibilities, most of the deputy sheriffs can be off on the weekends with their family. And because we're the arm of the courts, and that's one of our first focus is to make sure the courts are safe and the judges are safe. And when we're short, we are actively recruiting to bring in more deputy sheriffs to make sure that we continue to do that. And we deal with the real land, which is tax lien sales, mortgage foreclosures. We're the fiduciaries of that. We want to make sure that all the funds that come from that go to where they need to go. And if you haven't been through that, there may be excess proceeds waiting for you. So you need to really contact the sheriff's office. If you or your family property was sold at sheriff's sale or at a tax lien sale, you want to send us an email at phillysheriff.com so that we can see if there's excess proceeds that comes back to you and your family. And thanking Darryl Roberts for coming on, because I think we're almost down to our last few minutes here. You got any other last words, Darryl, to say?
I just want to say thank you, Sheriff, for allowing me to come on again to all the listeners. If you have anyone in your family that is on the autism spectrum, if you have not already, please, ma'am, please, sir, I personally, as an uncle to 2 individuals on the spectrum, I am begging you and asking you, please get this decal. Let's do a better job at protecting our own families. We can't only put it on law enforcement. We as family members and loved ones, we got to do our part. So we are asking you, do your part. Register for the decal, inform your family about the decal, and I promise you, your family will be in a better state because you cared for them, because we care for you.
So that's good. So we got some things. Thank you, Darryl, for coming on. Thank you for the autism decal. And so I'll go back into the things that are happening for the rest of this month. The sheriff's office is always doing something. Thank you to Lacey Davis for coming on, and I'll see you on the 25th. We do appreciate you also. But what's coming up next for the sheriff's office, the one thing we got going on the 25th, we are part of the Guardian Civic League Awards, Scholarship Awards, Sneaker Ball. And it's really nice to wear sneakers and you can dance and have a good time. That is October the 25th, Friday coming up at Live Casino at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The entertainment will be a lot of entertainment. We have a comedian, Jamal Doman out of California, is going to be a part of that. Lacey Davis is going to be the keynote speaker. We need you to come out and support them. The tickets are going fast. If you want, you better get them. We also, October the 24th, October the 25th, we're saying if you want to donate candy to our spooky bus tour, if you know the sheriff, we have a spooky bus that go around to different schools, and we partner with the 25th out at the park at 9th and Huntington Park. The spooky bus tour, if you want to drop off some candy, sealed candy, nothing that you can put anything in. You can drop it off at the sheriff's office at 100 South Broad Street, 5th floor, by October the 25th. And our Spooky Bus Tour is going to be October the 30th. We also are a partner with the Nicetown CDC, presents community food distribution and resource event, Saturday, October the 26th, 2024 at 11 a.m. While supplies last, we're going to have a food giveaway. 4300 Germantown Avenue. Let me say that again. That's October the 26th, 2024 at 11 a.m. while supplies last. 4300 Germantown Avenue. And that's going to be with a partnership with Nicetown CDC. So come out to there. That's on the 26th. And we got other things that's going on. And we got other partners as part of that. We are saying to you, we are in the community each and every week and every day. If you want us to be a part of your event, go to phillysheriff.com and email us and let us know that you want us to be a part of it. And the Spooky Bus Tour is the 25th District, and that's going to be the Haunted Huntington Park. That's what we are partnering with them. And that's going to be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So your children can play and have a good time and be safe, and all of us. So I just want to make sure everybody has, before I go off the air, phillysheriff.com is your resource to get whatever information you need about the sheriff's office. We don't shy away from controversy. We respond to any and everything that somebody tries to put out about us. We have it on our phillysheriff.com. And you can go on there and get the truth and not the innuendos or some of the opinion writers that we call them put out there because they have an agenda. And one of their agendas is they mad because we took $5+ million out of their pocket in reference to sheriff's cell. And so they are relentless. But we are not shying. We're transparent. All of our stuff is up on our website, and you can read it for yourself. That's why I say facts. But this is a very important year. I want to make sure that you know to go out and vote. Your democracy is online. Don't listen to the foolishness. Vote. November the 5th, vote. Those are our rights to do so. And let us not sit home and think it's just going to go away. It's not. This is serious. Go out and vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm assuming that you know you want to still be free. Democracy is online. Go out and vote. You've been listening to The Sheriff Perspective, and I thank you for listening. Feel free, phillysheriff.com. Send me an email, send my staff an email. We're there to serve you. God bless, and have a blessed weekend.
Get registered and bid at the upcoming tax sheriff sale on Friday, November 8th, held online at bidforassets.com/Philadelphia. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office at 215-686-3560.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, you may qualify for a free continuous